welcome to Embodied Alchemy with me, Rebecca Wilson, an embodied experiential space for you to drop deep into the wealth of wisdom within your being and activate a fuller, richer you. I am an embodied business coach, embodiment queen, sacred business midwife, and alchemist. I will help you birth your visions and sacred business into the world from an easeful, embodied, and rooted space within. So you can be who you are here to be, create what you are here to create, and activate the wealth of energy that is you. I will activate you into self-leadership, self-mastery to create your legacy on earth. Welcome on the journey, my love. Hi, loves. Welcome to another episode of Embodied Alchemy. Today's sharing, I really felt and wanted to explore with you, share with you, and unravel with you the process of alchemy. And my own interpretation of alchemy and how this energy has arrived for me in my work, in my own personal practice and processes, and how I have alchemized this process and refined it into a practice that I guide so many women through. And this process and practice is explored in so many ways, and I share it in all of the containers and the spaces in which I hold and create. And it really is a transformational process, a transformational experience, a true alchemy. There is pure alchemy within this process. So the alchemy process for me, and the way that I experience it and teach it, is that it moves through stages. There are stages in the process of alchemy. And the first stage of the journey, of the process, is arriving into revealing. And this stage of the journey, the revealing part of the process, is where we arrive into revealing, seeing, acknowledging, becoming aware of patterns, beliefs, stories, identities that we are living out, that we are identified with, that exist in the ways that we show up in our lives, in our relationships, in our business. So this first stage is the stage of revealing, becoming aware of something, an energy, a story, a pattern, a belief, historical experience that lives within. And this is the stage of awakening or awareness. We begin to illuminate something that may have been held in the shadows, unseen, not fully witnessed or felt. And the revealing stage is that feeling when something's rising up to the surface, a discomfort, or that voice inside that speaks for you to listen and to look at something that's possibly echoing through all parts of your life, a story that's on repeat, an experience that keeps on happening. And the revealing stage of the alchemy process invites us to look at this or that, whatever it is that's rising, showing itself, and to bring it out of the shadow and into the light. And the revealing process often holds a space of curiosity and questioning. We question thoughts, feelings, behaviors, habits, ways of being, blocks, energies that we may be holding on to. And through becoming aware and shining the light upon them, they are revealed to us, maybe in a new way, a new form. And we're able in this stage of the process to just bring some space around what is being revealed. And this stage is really supported with coaching, questioning, being curious, exploring, and journaling. And the process of revealing is the process of bringing that which lives in the shadow, locked in the body, into the light, which is that which lives in the unconscious being made conscious. And as it is made conscious, it is brought into our conscious mind and our awareness. And that is the space that we're able to transform, to move and shift by revealing that which lives within. And this stage, the revealing stage of the alchemy process, isn't something that is to be forced or pushed or poked. I bear witness to so many women's journeys and also a deep knowing of my own journey, that these things rise in what feels like a divine timing. And so we never really need to force this part of the process, but rather this part arrives to us, and we recognize that we are in a journey, a cycle, a spiral of alchemy, of transformation. And it begins with that which is revealed from the darkness, from the shadow, into the light. And so as we journey through the revealing process, we naturally begin to take the next step on the alchemy journey. And through the revealing, we may have landed in or become aware of a particular story that we hold within ourselves, maybe even where that story came from, the origin of its thread, cultural, collective, societal, family system, maybe a belief around pleasure, wealth, success, creativity, business, your body, your capabilities, your power, your voice. And as we transition through the stages, we bring with us that awareness. We have arrived into the aha moment, the recognizing of all the places within our lives that this story is possibly or is playing out. And this really can be a point, a moment in time of great power, because we recognize that when it's made conscious and it lives in our awareness, we have the power to shift and alter the belief and habit and the energy around it, to alchemize and in turn transform and bring something new in from that experience. And so naturally, the next stage of the alchemy process, once we have walked and journeyed through the revealing, is to release. We arrive at the point in the process, in the journey, in the unraveling of releasing. And the release stage could also be seen or felt or experienced as a transmutation. Often on my own personal journey, I recognize that I have lived out in cycles and patterns of wanting to release in a way of getting rid of parts of myself, which ultimately always play into the core wounds of rejection, abandonment, lack of love, because we are rejecting and abandoning and not loving parts of ourselves. And so in my own journey, I began to play with this part of the process. And I began to witness that this stage required me, first of all, to bring into my body and the somatic experience the feeling that was wanting to be felt, which sometimes can feel counterintuitive as we want to release, right? And just get rid and let go. But there's a potency and a magic that lives in fully welcoming the experience that is alive, to almost allow it a seat at the table, if we will, an opportunity to express, some space to be heard and felt and witnessed, and possibly to be understood even deeper, beyond a cerebral understanding. We can understand it through the somatics and the energetics and emotions of the body. And this process of welcoming it in to the journey, to be felt, given space to express, it somehow, in some magical way, releases that tight grip that we have around it. And that's where the release comes. And this really supports us to close cycles of energy and patterning. Because what we don't do here in this part of the process is abandon the abandoned parts, or reject the rejected parts, or tell the parts that they don't feel or aren't worthy of love, that they're not lovable. Instead, we welcome them in and allow them space. And when they are offered that space and they are expressed, everything around them relaxes and they soften. And that is where the true release arrives. And the release can often arrive as an energetic release, an emotional release, a somatic release, a release from the nervous system, a release of a thought or a tightly woven in idea. The release then can move into many areas of life, just releasing habits, maybe even addictions, tendencies that ultimately have been non-serving, but haven't been known to be that until that process began of revealing, feeling, and releasing. And it's always so fascinating to me in my own body and being, and in the bodies and beings and lives of all the women that I have the honor to sit with and journey with, of how much energy, how much of our life force we use up holding on tightly, gripping onto the ideas and ways of being that we have, conceived through life. And of course, we conceive in these patternings the belief or the idea that we somehow will be loved or safe, and our core primal needs being met. And it's so, so beautiful to witness the amount of energy, of life force, and wealth and abundance of vitality, increased pleasure and joy that becomes available for us, for myself, for the women that I journey with. When we move through this process, we use so much of our mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual energy, holding on tightly, gripping on. And as we reveal and we feel and we release, we free up so much of ourselves. So much space is created within us. So much more energy, so much more of ourself, our true nature is available for us. And moving through this part of the alchemy process, we arrive into great spaciousness. There is almost a blank canvas, a blank open space within our soul, our spirit, our psyche, within our belief systems. Through the unraveling and the processing and the releasing of what was, we open a grand space to what can be, what is possible. And often I've journeyed with women that have shared, at this stage of the process, they almost feel like that's the completion. But my experience within this is that if that space is left open and we don't bring anything into it, very often we very quickly fall back into old ways because nature, ease, comfortableness, and just pattern. So the next stage of the alchemy process is the stage of realigning. We realign to the truth of our soul, our spirit. We realign to that which we desire to be, to create, to manifest, to feel in our life experiences, in our body, in our relationships, in our business. This part of the alchemy process is all about realigning. Maybe we see that as realigning to the higher version of ourselves. Maybe we see it as realigning to the deeper, inner part of our soul or our spirit, our essence. We will all experience that in different ways. But it's the journey, the part of the process where we get to realign. Okay, how do I want it to be now? I get to choose in this moment what I would like to bring into this vast open space I've created. What beliefs, identities, what's the new narrative and the new story, the new energy, the new feeling. What wants to live here now? And what do I desire to live here now? And this is where it gets to be so expansive because it's all available for you. So in this part of the journey, it's a beautiful time to sit with your journal. We often write out desires, thoughts, feelings, sensations, visions. Visioning in your business, visioning your next level of wealth and abundance, visioning your relationship or a relationship you desire to create, manifest, and be in. Creations you wish to birth and share. Life you wish to bring into the world. And there's no limits in this space because it's alchemy, right? And the space has been created within you for you to bring all of this new in. You get to create the new now story, the new now belief, the new now way of being. It's so potent and so, so magical. You get to write out your reality. It's already happened. It's already done. What would it be? What would you be exploring and writing out in this part of the alchemy process? You're realigning with your truth, with your soul's truth, with your essence, with that part of you that knows. And it's also super powerful at this point in the process to share these visions and declarations and realignments, maybe in a sacred space or circle, or with somebody that can hold that container with you, or when working with a coach or a mentor. And this is part of the alchemy process that I just love. I love it all, but I love this so much. As I get to bear witness to women realigning and reclaiming. It's really a journey of reclaiming all the lost and forgotten parts of the self, reclaiming your voice, your power, your pleasure, reclaiming how good it gets to be. And it's so, so beautiful. I'm so honored to witness this part of the process with women. And as we move through this stage of the alchemy process, we've realigned and reclaimed and declared how it gets to be, how we get to feel. We move into the recoding. And the recoding part of the alchemy process is deeply embodied. We've already touched on recoding the mind through the journaling and the sharing practices in the previous part of the process, in the realigning and the reclaiming. And the recoding is deep and it's cellular. And in this, we move the body. We embody the codes we desire, we are calling in, we are filling up with. We embody the energy, the frequency, the texture, the wealth, pleasure, abundance, joy, love, expansion, whatever it is that came through in that previous stage of the process, whatever the desire was. We recode the physical through the energetic experience of somatically embodying your realigned and reclaimed parts. We embody the new narrative, the new story, the new beliefs. So the body and the being and the energetic field take the shape of that which you are now being, becoming, already are. And this is the true potency, because here we get to fill ourselves up so much with energy and light and life force, that divine energy of creation. And we recreate our reality through the physical form of our body. We recode every single part of our being to be able to hold the new energy and frequency of the new experiences we've manifested or we've brought in through this process of alchemy. It's always so beautiful to witness in others and in my own practice how differently we move in our body, how differently we move in patterns and energies and ways of being in our life, how differently we move in our business, in the decisions that we make, in our creations, when we have taken this process and recoded and encoded the physical body to hold the energy of that which we have realigned and reclaimed for ourselves. Our physical body feels so much different when we are moving from our inner power, when we are centered within, than when we have outsourced our power or lost our center in the external. So the recoding part of the process is really bringing that energy that we've realigned to and reclaimed for ourselves so deeply into our being that we become it. And then we move into our life from that space. We move into our relationships, our family dynamics. We create from that space. We make moves in our businesses and our lives. From that space within, that new, recoded, embodied experience. The power of this process always brings me so much joy, excitement, and always supports me to believe in magic, because it's available and possible through this alchemy process. And if this journey resonates with you and it's something that your spirit and soul are saying a yes to explore, this alchemy process and the way that I explore it and share it is offered in all containers that I birth into the world. Whether that's a one-to-one container and journey, a group immersion online, or in-person retreats, we always explore the process of alchemy in an embodied, experiential way. And so if your soul is speaking to you and you hear a call, I welcome you to arrive into my world. Join me on a journey and we can create alchemy together. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. If you loved this musing and sharing, I would love for you to share this episode far and wide. You can arrive into all of my offerings at rebecca-wilson.com. Links to dive deeper with me are in the episode notes. Remember, my love, you are here to be the fullest, most potent, powerful, embodied version of you. I am here to guide you into that. Hey love, I'm dropping in here to welcome you to join us in our online community membership, The Village. I created this space for women to gather, to return to themselves, to deepen the connection and the relationship with self, whilst held in a community of like-minded women walking the journey and the path of their own awakening.